Hello, my name is Blaise Coco. I'm one of the partners of Coco Early & Associates. This video contains information regarding selling your home short, which we call short sales. We thought it might make a lot of sense to reach out to the community and explain to them in detail how you go through the process of selling your home short. And what does that really mean? It's not a short home, it's not a tall home, it's actually homes that folks owe more in their home than it's worth. In other words, if you owe $300,000 and it was only worth $200,000, how can you possibly go out into the market and sell that home? You'd have to get up $100,000 out of your savings account or your checking account or your 401k or where have you. We'd like to explain to you a little bit the process so you may not have to do that. Unfortunately, within the last 3 to 4 years, at the end of 2011, there will be a minimum of 11 million homeowners that will have lost their home to foreclosure because of owing more than their home is worth, delinquent payments, personal issues, problems, who knows? But unfortunately, the reality is that at the end of 2011, there will be well over 11 million folks that will lose their home. We'd like to prevent that. We'd like to explain to you that you don't need to do that. If you do want to sell your home and you owe more than it's worth, then there's a good opportunity for you to short sell your home, which really means if you sold it for $200,000 and you owe $300,000, that $100,000 difference could be forgiven from your lender. Your lender may say it's worth taking a short payoff rather than trying to foreclose on these folks or go into auction, where they may end up only getting $150,000 at the auction. So you represent a very positive thing for the bank to try to get them to look at fair market value, understand that the value is down, and that you don't have any other means to pay off this mortgage, and that they would be willing to sell the property, or at least allow you to sell the property at a loss. This will prevent you from going into bankruptcy, which is always really nice. If your property did go to auction, there's a very good chance that you'll be forced into bankruptcy or you'd have to pay the shortfall. I'm not an attorney. I don't give legal advice. I would recommend, obviously, talking with an attorney for that. So how does the process work? Well, you would call someone in our office and say, hello, my name is Mr. and Mrs. whomever, and you'd like a market analysis done on your property. So one of my agents will come out and do an appraisal on your property, or we call it a market analysis. It's not actually a certified appraisal, but it does give you a current value of the property. A lot of folks today are looking at it and saying, oh my God, Blaise, the value is so much lower than we actually owe. What do we do? We would recommend putting it on the market and putting a disclosure in there saying that this property is subject to third-party approval, meaning the lender is going to have to approve the sale. So we put it on the market for fair market value for what it's worth, not what you owe, but for what it's worth. A buyer comes in and says, okay, it's on the market for $200,000. I think it's worth $180,000. They write an offer. We submit that offer to the bank. The bank looks at it and says, okay, well, they owe $300,000. It's only worth $180,000. Should we consider taking the loss? So the bank is going to send out their own appraiser, and when they do, that appraiser is going to come back and say, yeah, it's only worth $180,000. So the lender, at that point, is going to have to make a decision. Do we want to forgive the difference in order to let this sale go through? Or do we want to risk going to an auction and at that point maybe getting a lot less at the auction? Most of the lenders will say yes. And the good news is that if it's debt being forgiven, George Bush had come out just about 4 years ago, the Debt Forgiveness Act, saying that if there is going to be an event where debt is going to be forgiven, then at that point it will be tax-free. But I'm not an accountant, so I want you to consult with an accountant as well. But I can tell you, but this is kind of rampant in the market. Short sales is a thing of the norm today. We want to try to prevent you from forcing you going into bankruptcy because you owe more, or losing your home and the auctioneers on the property, and it's quite embarrassing, not to mention the financial difficulties that you'll have after the auction. So we always try to help people see the way to making the home sale a little easier and not so devastating. A lot of the lenders today are willing to forgive that difference, providing certain circumstances all align. So how do you get to this point? You'd want to give us a call, talk to one of my agents, and feel free to call us anytime. We have 10 locations, 165 agents that know the market inside and out and are more willing to help you than ever. So we'd come out, tell you what the property is worth, we'd guide you through the short sale process, and go from there. We actually have a workout company called Mortgage Debt Services, and their company that actually has consultants that will come out and talk to you as well in terms of helping you along with the entire process. It's not a fun thing to do, but it's the reality of this business today in the recession that we're in. It's unfortunate that you would be in this position, but if you are, there's hope. Don't go it alone. There's people out there that want to help you, and we'd like to do that as well at Coco Early Associates. So feel free to give us a call. If you need some advice, please, we're always willing and able and available for you. Thank you.